Um, Hi, how we doing? If you're a fan of the Scarlet and Gray, probably not well. But if you're a fan of the Maize and Blue, first of all, welcome. We welcome everyone here on this channel, even though what just transpired in the Horseshoe about 20 minutes ago, literally recording this, gathered some of my thoughts and recording this right after the game. Heck of a second half from the Maize and Blue. I give a lot of credit. I'm not one to sit here and say, "Oh, well, you know what? The refs were bad. There were some missed calls on both ends." I thought the officiating overall was subpar in this game. And I'm also not going to sit here and say, "Well, if Ohio State was healthier, Michigan had injuries too." All right? And injuries are a part of the game. You got to learn to deal with them. That's just the hard truth about the sports world. And well, unfortunately, Ohio State was not able to get the job done. I feel like my heart has been ripped out of my chest, still beating, and has been served on a silver platter. This is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. I feel for every player and every fan that wore scarlet and gray today. Um, I really do. And again, I take losses better generally than most people do because, again, you lose sometimes, all right? Welcome to the sports world. But this one hurts. This one hurts a lot. I give a lot of credit to what the Big Blue were able to do, and congratulations to them. They're going to their second straight Big Ten championship game. But, man, at times it felt like Ohio State really could have been more in this than the scoreboard would seem, but just what a game plan from Michigan in the second half. I'm here to talk about it, break it down, tell you about what I saw, and I know I sincerely apologize to all my people in Scarlet and Gray watching. I know this is not what you are going to hear, not what you're wanting to hear right now, but there is a silver lining in all of this. Ohio State still has a path to the college football playoff, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. What's up, Tailgaters? My name is Tailgate Nate. Welcome to my channel. I do review reaction videos to after every single Ohio State game. And well, I'm sure most of you saw what just transpired on the field. Oh, about probably when this video gets uploaded 90 minutes ago. Maybe probably less than that. I might be overestimating the time it takes to get this video up. I don't know. Whenever this video gets up, you saw what happened earlier today. There we go. I think that the scoreboard does not show this game justice because on the surface level, I thought this was a pretty well played game on both sides. There was one major flaw, though, and it was on the side of the Ohio State Buckeyes, and it was just we couldn't defend in man-to-man. We couldn't. Ohio State had committed all of their resources, everything they had, to stopping the run. I thought coming into this game, look, let's play single high safety. Let's let Tanner McAllister or Cam Brown or whoever sit back there and be able to defend some deep shots that J.J. McCarthy is going to take and let that defensive line just take over. Well, the defensive line and linebackers did their job. But, again, we had a lot of looks in single high safety, but just cover zero, man. We got beat so many times man to man. Two huge plays to Cornelius Johnson. He finished with 160 yards, 2 touchdowns, a lot of them coming on those big plays. Donovan Edwards. Look, Ohio State did a phenomenal job at defending the run in the first half. That's the problem. Then once Ohio State adjusted and started committing more resources to defending the pass, the run game opened up for Michigan. And as this game went along, the Wolverines' offensive line really was able to take advantage of what the Buckeyes gave them. And there should be an I in Wolverines above my head there. To all the people in Maize and Blue, I apologize sincerely. But Donovan Edwards really took over in the second half and had some huge crucial runs that won Michigan this game. 22 carries, 216 yards, 2 touchdowns, a couple huge touchdown runs, and he was able to put the game away for the Maize and Blue. J.J. McCarthy, again, like I said, couple of downfield passes, 263 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that kind of wrote itself. Ohio State running the ball. We had 4.9 yards per carry. It was working to some extent, but there was, again, late in the game, you put the ball in the hands of C.J. Stroud. And for all it's worth, I thought he played pretty darn well today. 349 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those 2 picks, look, I don't take much stock in those 2 picks at all. One of them was right off the hands of Cade Stover. Another one was like ripped out of the arms of a wide receiver. And there were some great defensive plays by Michigan in this game. C.J. Stroud had some throws that were just off the receiver's hands. Michigan was able to come up at the last minute and break the ball and break up the pass. My apologies. And I don't know if I've said this already. I probably have, but I'll say it again. I thought the officiating was very ticky-tack today. I thought there were calls that were missed on both ends. There was that one pass interference call on Ohio State in the end zone that I thought maybe you call that, maybe you don't, but Ronnie Bell did end up getting a fingertip on it, so probably a call that you have to make there. And then I don't know how that wasn't pass interference on Michigan late. If you call that play in the end zone, you got to call that play over the middle of the field. Can't remember the wide receiver or the defensive back who was there, but just something that you have to call, right? This Ohio State team had struggled down the road here in these last coming games. And, well, I had thought Michigan was going to hang in this game. But, again, I did not think that the final score would look anything semblance to this. If Michigan was going to win, I thought it was going to be a hard-fought game. That is, unfortunately, not the way that the cookie crumbled in this game. Just heartbreaking, man. This is heartbreaking. I feel so bad for all the seniors. And now, but look, there's extra motivation coming into next year. And I know that's not what Buckeye fans want to hear right now. But man, this sucks. This just sucks. 530 yards for Michigan, 492 for Ohio State. They were able to get down into the red zone or close to it a couple times, and yet they came away with field goals, something that Ohio State, for the most part this year, has done a really good job at getting into the end zone when they get that close. But Michigan had a couple of big defensive stops. There were a couple, some play calls that I didn't really understand from the Ohio State side that really helped Michigan out. And if Ohio State was able to turn those 3 points into touchdowns, we could have been talking like Ohio State was up 34 to 17? 34 to 17 at halftime. And by that point, it's a completely different game. Michigan only going into the locker room down 3 with the way that game had progressed. Michigan was going to take that every single day of the week. Let's see. I thought the first half was played pretty darn well. Again, there were some mistakes in there, but in the second half, it was all Michigan. Just what a game plan. Some excellent play calling from the side of Michigan there as well. And just a phenomenal, damn near flawless second half for the Michigan Wolverines. And they were able to pull away from Ohio State in the second half. Again, like I said, J.J. McCarthy, Donovan Edwards, huge in this game. Blake Corum had 2 carries, and you could tell he was just not himself. So he ended up sitting out of the game. Ohio State was defending the run really, really well, and then Donovan Edwards was able to get his legs moving. J.J. McCarthy had some scrambles there as well. And then, of course, sorry, my apologies. And then, of course, you had the couple deep pass plays from J.J. McCarthy there as well. He was really, really good today. So Michigan, congratulations to the Maize and Blue. You now secure your spot, most likely in the college football playoff, but you secure your spot in the Big Ten title game for the second straight year. This one hurts, man. It really does. This one hurts so bad. This one hurts a lot more than the way it hurt last year. Last year, I was like, hey, a lot of these cats are coming back. And then this year, just everything was in Ohio State's favor. You had home field. The injury bug had hit Michigan. And by the way, I'm not going to sit here and say that injuries are the reason or for anything, right? I gave you my reason. We couldn't defend him man-to-man. Donovan Edwards and J.J. McCarthy, just too many big plays that Ohio State couldn't limit. And that is the reason Ohio State lost this game. Also, stupid mistakes. I'm usually pretty fine after a loss because welcome to the sports world. You lose sometimes. But I understand it's the game and the emotion of the moment can take advantage of you, but you gotta learn to not do that. There were some horrible unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. G. Scott banging helmets on the sideline. I didn't see what Cade Stover did. Maybe one of you in the comment section there can tell me, but just come on, man. Just some stupid mistakes, false starts that killed drives, killed the momentum, just some one or two holding calls that really backed us up as well. We had a 1st and 35 for crying out loud because of what G. Scott did on the sideline. And then there was a holding call in there as well. Just inexcusable. Unbelievable. I could not, every time a flag got 9 penalties for 91 yards. 9 penalties for 91 yards, and 2 of those unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. I know for a fact 2 or 3 of those are false start penalties. One of them is definitely holding. There were some other penalties in there as well that just, come on, man, just unbelievable. There's no excuse. No excuse for, I can't even find the words. Just no excuse to be that caught up in the moment where you go out and just do whatever it is you just did, especially those unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. Oh, did they make me mad? But yeah, so overall, good credit to the Michigan Wolverines. They're probably a lock now for the college football playoff, in there for the 2nd straight year. Georgia also won today. They're likely a lock for the college football playoff as well. So you probably more likely than not have 2 spots filled, right? But those other 2 spots very much up for grabs. One of them is likely going to go to TCU, who, if they can take care of business against Iowa State, let's check out the score of that game right now, actually. TCU is up 10-0. So early, it looks like TCU is going to take care of business there and go ahead and move forward into the Big 12 championship game, where they will either play Texas or Kansas State. If Kansas State can take care of business, it will be the Wildcats. And here comes the part that I know Ohio State fans are not going to want to hear right now. Because I know there are some Ohio State fans out there that this is the most important game of the season. That's not typically how I roll. Beating Michigan is a priority. Yes, absolutely. But it's not the only game on the schedule. You play 12 games for a reason, and Ohio State just couldn't close this one out. Now, there is a silver lining in this game. I don't know how many other Ohio State fans were paying attention to what was transpiring around the nation, but Clemson went down. Yeah, South Carolina playing spoiler. How about the Gamecocks simplifying this playoff race a little bit now, huh? Wow. I was watching that game towards the end there too, kind of keeping an eye on this one and over to that one there as well. And just wow, the way that South Carolina was able to hold on, they get a 31-30 win over the Clemson Tigers, and Clemson now done. No playoffs for the Clemson Tigers, which helps Ohio State a lot. Now, the interesting conversation is going to be Ohio State or USC, because the way it looks right now, Georgia is in, and I think they're a lock. Michigan, obviously, with this win, is in. I think they are a lock. Clemson is out. Tennessee is out. LSU probably has a slight chance if they're able to beat Georgia, which I really don't see happening. So, well, they're not out of it yet, but I'll say it's unlikely. Bama is out, so they're done. So it comes down to Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, TCU, and USC. I think TCU, at this point, if they can take care of business against Iowa State and finish this game, they are a lock. And I think that is set in stone. For USC, though, you got that game against Notre Dame tonight. Ohio State fans are going to be rooting hard for a team that they played in week one, not only to kind of boost Ohio State's resume a little bit, but to then knock USC out of the college football playoff race. At that point, as long as Georgia is able to get past LSU in the SEC championship game, to me, it's a no-brainer that Ohio State is back in the college football playoff. Even as of right now, as I sit here talking to you, they were showing stuff on the Fox broadcast, and I think as of right now, again, currently as I sit here, Ohio State, even with this loss, and I know the scoreboard makes it look pretty bad, but even with this loss, I think the All-State playoff predictor gives Ohio State an 80% chance to play in. We'll see where the committee puts this Ohio State team on Tuesday. That is going to be a huge thing. If the committee is going to drop them all the way to 6, then yeah, Ohio State's going to need some stuff to happen. But especially if USC were to drop that game too, again, a team that Ohio State played earlier this year in Notre Dame. If USC were to drop that game tonight, or if USC were to win that game but then go lose the Pac-12 championship game, where does the committee put Ohio State? Do they drop them behind LSU? As of right now, I'm probably going to end up saying yeah, but that's going to work itself out anyway. Early spoiler prediction, I do think Georgia is going to win that game. But there is still a path to the playoff for this team, even though we're not going to the conference championship game, even though we didn't win our division, even though we didn't beat our rivals from up north. So there is that to keep in mind if you are an Ohio State fan. No real reason to say, oh, well, that's it. Season's over. Time to go home. What a disappointment. And I know there are some Ohio State fans out there that are going to say that, because I know to a lot of people, a lot rides on this Michigan game. And let's be honest, guys. Look, my dad was a former blocking tight end for The Ohio State University. He was in this rivalry, and he knows he hates losing this game. And I hate losing this game too. It hurts. It really does hurt. But you know what? You lose sometimes, okay? I know there are Buckeye fans that will say, I'll never get over that. I'll remember this forever. You know what? I'm going to remember this forever too. But I guarantee you when I wake up tomorrow, all I'm going to be thinking about is, okay, how does Ohio State get into the college football playoff now? Because for most of the year, the Buckeyes have been really, really good. They've been pretty good. I know they've stumbled here as of late, but as of this point, still, I truly believe, and I know the Buckeyes may not have shown it fully in this game, but I still truly believe that this is one of the 4 best teams in the entire nation. And if that's the job of the College Football Playoff Committee, is to put the best 4 teams in, I think Ohio State deserves a shot. Now, it may mean that Ohio State either gets a rematch with Michigan if Michigan were to jump to number 1, or Ohio State would play the defending national champions, because more likely than not, Ohio State would end up getting that 4 seed if they were able to slide their way into the college football playoff. They are going to need some help, though. According to the playoff predictor, this team is still pretty much a lock, as it gives Ohio State the edge over USC and TCU right now. Although, again, if TCU takes care of business, still up to nothing on the Iowa State 45-yard line as I'm sitting here talking to you guys, then yeah, a lot is riding on that USC game tonight. Okay, I'll stop talking about it because I know Ohio State fans out there, that's probably not what you want to hear, but it was something I had to talk about in this video. Back to this Michigan game, though. We couldn't defend man-to-man. I expected us to play single high safety. We committed so much of our resources to not letting Michigan beat us on the ground that we underestimated the ability of J.J. McCarthy. And he had a career game. He had the game of his life today. He was fantastic. So, and J.J. McCarthy, I believe, coming back next year as well, when the game is going to be played in the Big House. So, look, this is a Michigan team I got to give a lot of credit to. I'm not going to sit here and be all pouty-faced about it because, again, you lose sometimes, okay? That's just the way the sports world works. Michigan fans, whatever you say in the comment section, go ahead, because it's not going to get to me at all. I very rarely talk trash because that's just not what I do, right? That's just not what I do here on this channel or even in real life either. If you know me personally, you know that for a fact. I generally don't talk trash. And this was a Michigan team that I respected coming into this game. And I knew that this was a team that was going to give Ohio State a good fight. But man, does that result hurt. Staring at that score, thinking about the score from last year as well. Gosh, man, it hurts so much. Man, that hurts a lot. So, Michigan, probably a lock for the college football playoff. Purdue is down to Indiana right now, and Illinois is beating Northwestern. So there are a couple games to watch in the Big Ten to see who goes to Indianapolis to play in the Big Ten championship game. It could be a rematch of Michigan and Illinois, although Michigan could also end up playing Purdue if the Boilermakers are able to go ahead and win this game. So I think that's going to do it for me here. Just, man, this is so painful. This hurts so bad. Well, sucks that we may have to wait 365 days for this game to happen again. And I say may because there's always a chance that they play later down the line in the college football playoff. There still is that chance and hope. So, Ohio State fans, I know this is going to feel like a disappointment, and I know it's going to feel like the season has come to an end. But get through today. Hold your chin up high because we still got at least one game moving forward. And more likely than not, it's going to end up being the Rose Bowl unless we can sneak our way into the college football playoff, which it may be a very tense ride. The committee may be sitting here and looking and be like, all right, so both teams are in the playoff now? Yeah? Okay, cool. The committee very well may be saying that. And I think Ohio State's resume will be boosted even more if Toledo goes and wins the Mid-American Conference championship game here this next week as well, because Toledo's playing in there as well. You see Toledo right below me on the schedule. So we'll see what happens. If you're a fan of the Scarlet and Gray, root big for the Fighting Irish tonight. Ohio State's definitely going to need some help to knock out some other playoff contenders. And if November has shown us anything, especially with Clemson going down, college football can still create chaos. So whether you're a fan of the Scarlet and Gray, I know this one hurts, but keep that chin up high. There are things to improve on for the bowl game or for the playoff if we can get there. And again, that is a big if. I myself am not confident that Ohio State will be able to get there, but you know what? I've seen some crazier things happen, and Ohio State can very much still get in to the college football playoff. If you're a fan of the maize and blue, congratulations, you're heading back to a Big Ten championship game to face either Purdue or Illinois. So I'm going to go ahead and sign out and try to enjoy the rest of my college football Saturday. I hope you guys go and do the same. There are still a lot of really good games on. Kentucky, Louisville's at half. And in fact, a lot of these games about to go to halftime there. Auburn, Alabama's on. Oregon State is ahead of Oregon right now. So please go enjoy the rest of your college football Saturday. I know this one hurts, but hold your chin up high, Scarlet and Gray fans. Everything is going to be all right. Congratulations to the Wolverines. What a second half. Couple huge play calls in there as well. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. So thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Do anything you can to help support the channel. And remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. Hopefully, when I talk to you guys again, it'll be after a playoff game, or maybe even before a playoff game. I might do like a little preview just solely based as an Ohio State fan. So we'll definitely see what happens. But hopefully the next time I talk to you guys, Ohio State has found themselves in the Final Four. Goodbye.